So do you ever do something that just kind of bugs you a little bit and it's like, not done yet, not done yet. I don't know what's up. It's still bugging me. Well, this one's been doing that and I need to work on her a little bit more. Howdy, howdy, this is Clara Lawrence. Okay, so I've done a resin pour in a tray and I did a dirty pour so you can see the mixture of colors that's going around. And then on the top layer of this, I've done an illustration of this horse. And you see part of the neck and the back. However, it gets a little lost a bit. It is a very busy background and you got a lot of lines going around. So it's like things are colliding. And sometimes you need something to pull forward and something to go back for the eye to figure things out a little bit easier. So let me give you what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got his head here. You can figure that out. He's got a lot of hair. You can figure that out. That's possibly the butt. And his neck comes over this way. And it was just the way the body was turning, and this was done from a reference photo, that in the photo it makes sense, but when you take a portion of the photo out and do a line drawing of it, sometimes it doesn't make sense and it needs a little help. So what I'm thinking about doing, or what I was debating on, is whether or not to add color in here in the horse and separate it from the background, or vice versa, add color to the background and make this guy pop forward. And the more I think about it, let me zoom in a little bit. I've done a lot of detailed drawing in here, and I think it would be really, really tricky for me to add color in an area and it stay put. So that's kind of what's making me think that I'm going to add color to the background section. So it's going to be either in this quadrant here and in that area here, because that's his neck, and possibly the outside ring on both sides there. And that maybe will help make the horse and, neck and back area pop a little bit more. And maybe I need to shadow this a little bit to pull it back as far as illustration wise, meaning add a lot more, darkening to it, and that might make more sense out of this neck. Okay, a lot of talking there. So sorry. So I had a panel that I've got that I do like little bitty experiments on to try to figure out some things. And I had a thought, and I've used acrylic paints with resin before, meaning to paint directly on top of resin to do illustrations, bring out details or textures. And I've been messing with acrylic pouring, and I knew acrylic pouring was going to help me out with resin. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So I've got this panel here. It's got a bunch of different colors. And what I've done is I've taken some acrylic pour medium and I've just done a little bit of a swipe to it, like right here. You can see it's kind of transparent. And then I did a little bit of a blob there. So literally, you can see my finger swipe and such. So it adds a little bit of a sheen to it without doing too terrible much as far as taking away from the peaks. And so that made me think. And I've got two colors here I'm thinking about. Now this is a very bold color. This is Boysenberry from Primary Elements, which is actually the same company who does resin art, but this is her acrylic line. So these pigments are meant to be mixed in with acrylic pouring mediums or acrylic paints and stuff. And then this one here is Golden Interference Violet. So this is more of a sheen kind of a color, very, very light. So this one I'm debating on, but it does get transparent if you do it thin. So That's why I thought it would really help maybe punch this forward a bit. I don't know. So that's what we're doing today. All right, I'm gonna try and do this while holding the camera at the same time. So I figured I'd go ahead and do a little test of this color here. And there's a dark area here. I'm just gonna put some blob kind of, that would be the thickest it would be applied. It's really pretty purple, isn't it? And then I'm gonna just take my finger and just kind of brush it through. And what I'm looking for, I might brush it through a little darker there. Whoops, got my hand. I didn't do a very good job there, sorry. So what I'm looking for is some of the color to show through transparent wise, but also to be able to distinguish, in other words, definitely color it and be able to push back or push forward. So, and I think that will work. And then this is light enough to be a nice accent on the outside of it and also add a nice little shimmer to the piece, kind of like this does. It adds a nice little shimmer over here. You know me in interference colors, I like that stuff. So I think we're gonna use these two for sure. All right. Okay, so after swiping out that little bit there, I'll point it out with my magic paintbrush. So this is interference violet here, and then this is a boysenberry that I was thinking about. I love this purple, I have to admit. I thought it was like, is that too strong of a purple? And so I pulled out two other kind of violet purpley colors here. And this is a Color Shift Purple Flash. And I believe it's also mixed with Permanent Violet too. So it's a combination of a couple different colors. And then that one is kind of a nice medium tone, but it does come off very transparent. So I think it almost might be too light, like compared to this, and might not change the background much. And then this one was an Extreme Sheen Purple, and I think it's also mixed up with a bunch of other ones. So it's a very deep, deep purple. So I'm debating on this because that grapey almost kind of color isn't really in here. So even though I really, 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 really like it, I think that I might end up going with this guy and pulling him into the outside here. And then the interference violet, because it's lighter, I'm going to pull it into here because I do have a lot of dark tones in here. And I think the light will help build that contrast up a bit. So that's my decision. We'll do the interference violet and then the extreme purple in the background. Very, very outside rim. Okay, let me get started. Okay, we're gonna try this again. The kids in the hubby went zipping around on the ATV. Talk about making a lot of noise. And hubby installed a big horn on the ATV just because he could. I think, and so he was having fun, of course, playing, you know, messing with the horn. Uh-oh, is he coming back around again? Anyway, so I decided to go straight to the source on the golden one because the interference seemed to be so transparent that I was worried that it would be like almost pointless for me to do this. So I also brought out some titanium white just to maybe bump up the opacity a little bit. And I've got the GAC 100 to add some transparency to it if I go too far. So that's my insurance. And yeah, so let's get started. I've also got a paper towel with some water on it. And in case I don't like it, I can wipe it right off. So, I don't know if I need this on here or not, but I'll go ahead and put a little bit. It's always like, you know, messing around with glues. It leaves a little bit on the tip, and you have to clean it off. Okay. Uh-oh, hubby's about to come inside. I'll be back. Okay. All right. So I'm not worried about a smooth coverage because, as you guys know, I'm okay with brush strokes. I think brush strokes add a little bit of texture and interest. I am just looking for some definition and a way to kind of guide the eye, if anything. So I'm just doing this until I get something that I like. Yeah, I don't like. I think we are there. Okay. I encourage you, just like drawing, if your piece is movable, move it to a position that is more comfortable with the way your arm and hand naturally move, because you'll end up being much happier with the piece doing that than you will be trying to fight a curve, like going lefty, and it's like, I'm not lefty. Or trying to, like, I naturally can do a curve really well this way, but doing a curve this way may be awkward and difficult for me. So if it's something I'm like nervous about getting that curve or line or whatever just right, change your piece around, move it around. Yeah, it's going on messy, and I'm okay with that because I like it. And a lot of this will dry clear. There'll be some opacity to it because of the white. There we go. If all this fails, I can always wipe it off and start all over again. All right. Let's see. I think that is already helping a bit. In fact, I might even think about doing one more step that I wasn't even thinking about doing before. Just a little something to catch your eye right in the middle. This is what they called about talking, when a piece is talking to you and it needs a little something more. This is kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, that line's gonna turn out pretty. Add just a little bit. Okay, we will try and add a little bit to the top. Well, the other side was too easy. All right, so all I'm trying to do is a little bit of highlights, just to kind of direct the eye a little bit. Okay, that is simple and very, yeah, that works. I'll be right back. All right, I had to go clean off my brush a little bit. Let's see. So the paint that I'm going to be using now is actually already a mixed up paint for doing acrylic pouring. So it's got like a paint conditioner kind of thing mixed in with it. So it'll be a little bit more, I don't know why I turned this thing around, but I just did. A little bit more transparent than normal. Now it looks like I'm not adding anything. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just trying to, yeah, that really goes on transparent. Is that enough? Or is it even necessary? Don't freak out. That's my inexpensive brush here peeling. Which happens to be almost the same color I'm painting in the background. Okay, I will dust that off later when everything is completely dry. Otherwise I'm gonna get paint particles everywhere and I don't want that. All right, so I'm just gonna go and have some painted lines show and just do it that way and not worry about it We'll get some purple in there. It'll help darken and separate that area out from the inside. And I'll be happy with that. I wonder if I did this before I did the drawing. In other words, did a rough outline of the drawing and then tweaked out some colors and then did the drawing on top of that. Wonder what that would look like. Let's see. Always step back and look at your pieces if you're debating on it, because sometimes things will stand out much more prominent. So I'll show you what I mean. Like, it's kind of hard to see if this is really making this pop out, but if you step back, can you really see the horse now? And if you can't step back from your piece, take a picture of it. See if you can get the whole piece in view and click and take a picture of it, and then look at your phone and see if there's anything you would want to change. And sometimes mistakes really stand out at that point. Like maybe it's all monotoned, or maybe it's too busy. In this case, we were really busy. So the poor little horsey dude was getting lost. Anyway, all right. You let this guy dry, and I'm going to give it a flood coat, and he is ready to go. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. Later, y'all. All right, I forgot to give you the overall view and the zoom in. Here we go. Ready? So I am super happy with the way the horse now pops, and even that last minute spontaneity that I did, or spontaneous, maybe that's the better word for it. Ugh, I can't even talk. I think you guys know what I mean. Where I went in and I add a little bit of color to the eyes, and then that direction is like, well, wait a minute, if I'm going to do that, let's do a kind of a blaze on the horse. And that drew the eye to here and down, and you got to see the nose. And that's kind of where your eyes go. And that's cool. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Hope I'm not making you guys dizzy. So just by changing things up just a little bit, by adding those two colors, and then a little detail. I mean, you saw me. I just did a little simple swatch underneath, a couple dots on the eye, little work with a blaze, and then just a little highlight around the nostrils. Helped to stand out a lot better. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. There, y'all. All right. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell to get notified next time I put a video up. Check the links in the description below for my Amazon store, or I should say links smorgasbord. I get a teeny tiny bit of commission. We're talking pennies here for anything you click on. So I need to let you know that, but it does not change your price. So click away. If there's any art supplies you're interested in. And I had them divide up into categories, so hopefully it makes it easy to find things. All my colors that I use for my resin, I get those from Artist Till Death, and there's also a coupon code. There y'all. All right, I just poured a coat of resin on top to finish this guy off. Super shiny. Definitely worthwhile. So soon it'll be ready for a new home. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, I'm much happier that I did this. There you go.